Namaskrityam naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatam vyasam tatam jayam udiraye nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati nashtaki guruve gaur chandraya radhikaya tadalaye krishnaya krishna bhaktaya tadbhaktaya namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, dear Vaishnavas, for those who joined for the Bhagavatam. We are reading Canto 8, Chapter 19, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Lord Vamanadeva begs charity from Sri Bali Maharaj. So, multiple reasons have been shared by Shukracharya to Bali Maharaj that don't give him charity, take your promise back. You don't know what the Bharva Shruti states? Bhavricha Shruti. You didn't say Om. Hey, you didn't say Om. You can take your promise back. So, and especially this promise will take your life. This promise will take all your wealth. You'll have nothing else to give to anyone. What to speak of giving anyone? You will be beggar yourself. So, multiple reasons. This is life, and when the question is about life and death, you can take your promise back. And then we discuss also about how to distribute in charity, distribute one's income. So we were discussing that in text number 37. So let's move on to text number 38. Atrapi. Did we read this? Oh,
yes, Prabhu, we are on 43. We are on the last one, I think.
Oh, yes, we are on the 40. Actually, text number 40. Sorry, my bad. Yes, Nandini Mataji, you want to read this one?
Yes, Prabhu. Text, 1 second. I'll go there. Text 40. Prabhu, I was listening, Dandavat Pranam, everybody. I was listening to His Holiness Radhanath Swami's lecture on this one. And he said, Bali Maharaj followed his heart. And that's what we should really learn from this pastime. And it's a very nice class. I highly recommend everybody. Okay. Text 40. Tad yatha vriksha unmulaha shushyatyu dvartate chirat evam nashtanruta satya atma shushena samshayaha. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In this regard, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Prabhuji, I don't see the, in this, I don't see the summary. So, translate.
Translation. You see my screen?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay. 1 second, it will come. Sorry. Yes. When a tree is uprooted it immediately falls down and begins to dry up. Similarly, if one doesn't take care of the body, which is supposed to be untruth, in other words, if the untruth is uprooted, the body undoubtedly becomes dry. Purport. Tad yatha vriksha unmulaha shushyati udvartate chira. Sorry. Purport. In this regard, Srila Rupa Goswami says, Prapanchiktaya buddhaya hari sambandhi vastutaha mumukshubhihi parityago vairagyam phalgu kathyate. One who rejects things without knowledge of their relationship to Krishna is incomplete in his renunciation. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.66. When the body is engaged in the service of the Lord, one should not consider the body material. Sometimes the spiritual body of the spiritual master is misunderstood. But Srila Rupa Goswami instructs, Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandhi vastunaha. The body fully engaged in Krishna's service should not be neglected as material. One who does neglect in it is false in his renunciation. If the body is not properly maintained, it falls down and dries up like an uprooted tree, from which flowers and fruit can no longer be obtained. The Vedas therefore enjoin, Om iti satyam niti anritam tad etant pushpam phalam vacho yat satyam saheshwaro yaswasvi kalyana kirtir bhavitaha pushpam hi phalam vacha satyam vadati athi eitan मूलम वाचो यद अनृतम यद यथा वृक्षा अविर्मूलः शुष्यति सा उदावृताता एवानृतम वदन अविमूलम आत्मनाम करोति स शुष्यति स उद्वर्तते तस्माद् अनिऋतम Navaded dayate tvatena. Sorry about that mispronunciation, probably. The purport is that activities performed with the help of the body for the satisfaction of the absolute truth, Om Tat Sat, are never temporary, although performed by the temporary body. Indeed, such activities are everlasting. Therefore, the body should be properly cared for. Because the body is temporary, not permanent, one cannot expose the body to being devoured by a tiger or killed by an enemy. All precautions should be taken to protect the body. Hare Krishna. So yesterday we read that this body is important to get out of the material to get out of this material world and to get punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam. So we need a body to get out of this bodily platform once and for all. So, but we also need to take care of the body very carefully. Prabir Prabhu was telling that beautiful pastime of Sanatan Goswami and Lord Chaitanya, how Lord Chaitanya said, no, I need your body. Even though you're thinking of committing suicide and your body is full of pus, I need your body because I want to execute so many things through your body. So when we are completely surrendered, the spiritual master allows us to be instrument and acts through us. Of course, we are not Sanatan Goswamis, but whatever little minutest service we may have to do. And so this is Krishna's property and we really need to take care of it. And also, but we should not remain, otherwise it's false renunciation. Back to you, Prabhu. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Yes, that's Phalgu-vairagya. Phalgu means there is a actually river in the northern India. That's where this word Phalgu comes. It's dry on the top, but it flows underneath. So one should not be so-called renounced outside, saying, "Oh, detached," inside. Lot of attachments. It's called Phalgu. In short, the goal is to use this body in the service of the Lord. And I was mentioning that His Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj was giving a class to some yoga students in yoga. In yoga, the main these days, the yoga industry is more about the bodily exercise. So, but some people are trying to connect it to a higher spiritual level, transcendental level. So when I was talking and giving a class to these about the real meaning of yoga, and someone asked, well, yoga is about the care of the body, and bhakti is about the care of the soul, and we are not this body. Then why should, as yogis, we take care of the body? So he gave a very nice example, which I really liked. He said that we maintain the car. Most of us drive a car, and we maintain the car. The purpose of getting a car is not to maintain the car. The purpose of getting a car is to get to a destination. whether it's going to the office or going to the temple or going to a friend's place or grocery store. We don't buy a car to maintain the car, right? But we have to maintain it. Otherwise, we can't get to the destination. For example, you're driving on the road and we realize, oh, the brakes are not working, or there is no oil. We forgot to put the oil in there, the engine oil or the fuel or the gas and the air pressure. All those things have to be taken care. Regular maintenance is required. Otherwise, you will not get to the destination. Yes, maintenance is not the real goal of life. Similarly, maintaining the body is not the real goal of having the body. But yes, maintenance is required. Now, for a spiritualist, that maintenance becomes even more important because a spiritualist body, as Mataji said, is not his or her body. It's the body of the one's guru. It's Krishna's body. Krishna is acting through that person. Guru is acting through that person. It's like the extension of Guru and Krishna. So now, an emergency response vehicle, the do they also maintain their cars? They're also like motor vehicles. And also, do they maintain? Yes, they also maintain. They maintain maybe a lot better than an ordinary person would maintain his or her motor vehicle. Why? Because an ordinary person sometimes he may try to start his car and realize, oh, the battery is dead. Sorry, too late. I need to like call a towing company or something. But can an emergency response vehicle expect to have, oh, there's a call for emergency, and then, oh, sorry, the battery is dead. Oh, my car is not starting. Sorry, I can't. No, they maintain it much, much finer degree because they are on a mission. Similarly, devotees, we are on a mission of Lord Chaitanya. So we have to take good care of our health, our body, as Prabhupada is saying, and do our best. Not be on the other extreme also, just taking care, 5 hours a day taking care and not doing any outreach. That's like, what are we taking care for? Right? We're just busy taking care and not doing any good use. It's like that's the other extreme. So a nice balance is required. Prabhupada showed by his example how he would go for morning walks, how he'd get his body massaged and take the sunlight and regulate one's eating, sleeping, recreation, health, exercise. So both nice balance is required. Not one extreme or either extreme. Extremes are always unhealthy in bhakti. So, any other comments anyone has? Okay. Yes, Babu Prabhu, you want to read next verse, next 41?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Paragritam apurnam va aksharam yat tad om tidi iti yat kinchid om iti bruyat tena richeta vai puman bhikshave sarvam om kurvan nalam kamena chatmane. Translation. Let me scroll down. Translation. The utterance of the word Om signifies separation from one's monetary assets. In other words, by uttering this word, one becomes free from attachment to money because his money is taken away from him. To be without money is not very satisfactory, for in that position, one cannot fulfill one's desire. In other words, by using the word Om, one becomes poverty stricken, especially when one gives charity to poor man or beggar. One remains unfulfilled in self-realization and in sense gratification. Purport. Maharaja Bali wanted to give everything to Vamanadeva, who had appeared as beggar, but Sukracharya, being Maharaja's Bali's familiar spiritual master in the line of seminal succession, could not appreciate Maharaj Bali's promise. Sukracharya gave Vedic evidence that one should not give everything to poor man. Rather, when a poor man comes for the charity, one should untruthfully say, whatever I have given you, I have no more. It's not that one should give everything to him. Actually, the word Om is meant for Om Tat Sat, the absolute truth. Omkara is meant for freedom from all attachment to money, because money should be spent for the purpose of the Supreme. The tendency of modern civilization is to give money in charity to poor. Such charity has no spiritual value, because we actually see that although there are so many hospitals and other foundation and institution for the poor, according to three modes of material nature, a class of poor men is always destined to continue. Even though there are so many charitable institutions, poverty has not been uh, driven from human society. Therefore, it is recommended here, Bhikshave sarvam om kurvan nalam kamena chat chatmane. One should not give everything to the beggars among the poor. The best solution is that Krishna consciousness movement. This movement is always kind of the poor, not only because it feeds them, but also because it gives them enlightenment by teaching them how to become Krishna consciousness. We are therefore opening hundreds and thousands of centers for those who are poor, both in money and knowledge, to enlighten them in Krishna consciousness and reform their character by teaching them how to avoid illicit sex, intoxication, meat eating, and gambling, which are the most sinful activities and which cause people to suffer life after life. The best way to use the money is to open such center where all may come live and reform their character. They may live very comfortably without denial of any body necessity, but they live under spiritual control, and thus they live happily and save time for advancement in Krishna consciousness. If one has money, it should not be squandered away on nothing. It should be used to push forward the Krishna consciousness movement, so that all the human society will become happy, prosperous, and hopeful of being promoted back home, back to Godhead. The Vedic mantra in this regard read as follows: Paragva etat riktam aksharam yad etat om iti tad yat kinchid om iti ahatraivams vasmati vasmai tad richyate. Sayat charnam om kuryat richyat atmanam sa kamebhyo nalam syat. My understanding, Prabhuji, so Sukracharya is saying that we should not give everything, but what we have, that is what we have to give. That is something that he is giving advice to Bali Maharaj. But Prabhupada purport, no, he is clearly mentioning that giving the poor the money is not a right option. No, spending for charity, for Krishna consciousness, to not only help them in with respect to poor component, but knowledge wise also it will help them, and will build better society. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Yes, there are different categories of poor. Poor by money, poor by food, poor by mental state, right? I think I shared here or this morning. Two young boys, 18 years, 21 years. It's the recent news someone shared. Nice family from Bangladesh, settled in northern Texas. The two boys were planning to commit suicide for over a month. They killed their mother, father, sister, and grandmother, shot dead, and then they killed themselves. All 6 people, the end. Can you imagine? Nice family, good house, good education, good wealth, good everything. But something was missing, right? Poverty of consciousness. Srila Prabhupada came to US, and that too the so-called the most opulent city, New York. But poverty from heart, poverty of consciousness, poor by spiritual knowledge, understanding of Krishna consciousness. That's a bigger poverty than the materialistic, than the poverty by money. So our movement, International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Prabhupada established to uproot poverty from all dimensions. It's not that some people say, well, you guys are just, chanting Hare Krishna. What are you doing? Prabhupada was not like that. He was very, very empathetic and sympathetic to the needs of everyone. Some people say, well, why don't you guys are just preaching to the elite class and the intelligent people. Why don't you preach in villages? It's not that people are not preaching in villages. People are preaching in villages also. They're distributing prasadam in villages also. But the point is, Yadyat Achariti Shreshtas. If the intelligent people, if the wealthy people will understand the real need of Krishna consciousness, then they will be able to help to eliminate this poverty of Krishna consciousness to a larger extent. So one time Prabhupada saw in Mayapur kind of a rag picker, kabadi wala in Hindi, was picking some food from the same pile some dogs were eating. Prabhupada was so compassionate that in all our ISKCON temples, no one should go hungry across miles. So therefore, free prasadam is distributed in all these ISKCON temples. So, which not only removes the poverty or the hunger of the belly, but it also eliminates the hunger of heart. That's a much bigger hunger, the hunger of satisfaction. There is the disease of lust, anger, greed, etc. So, in all dimensions, the spiritual International Society for Krishna Consciousness is helping people in all domains, whether it's the hunger of belly, whether it's the hunger of spirit, whether it's the hunger of heart. So many, Prashant Mukund Prabhu was telling, ISKCON has set up also these lifelines for suicide calls. The people who are getting depressions, and so many people, I just shared this story. You can Google it if you don't trust me that I'm concocting this stuff. This is recent, just 2 days back in Texas. And this whole family of six is gone because of the influence of social media and crazy environment going on. Young kids, young 18-year, 21-year-old boy in their colleges, family, and the neighbors said, well, we never thought that this would happen because the family seemed to be fine, everyone seemed to be fine. But something, the hunger, the trauma inside is going on, which everyone seems fine outside, but inside the lives are quite shallow. That's what Prabhupada came to this country to give the real message of Bhakti, Krishna consciousness to the suffering, poor people. Dina Hina. Everyone is Dina. So we must take it nicely because charity begins at home. Remove our poverty of consciousness, develop the real wealth of bhakti, and then share as far as possible because the world needs it. There is a lot of dearth of Krishna. There's a lot of need of Krishna consciousness and the devotees to share that, taking understanding that this is the real sum and substance, to share Krishna Prasad, the holy name, build places to share Krishna consciousness, and do one's best to push forward. Prabhupada is writing to push forward the Krishna conscious movement so that the human society will become happy, prosperous, and hopeful of going back to God. This is our goal. one of the main missions of Srila Prabhupada. Any other comments, any additions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes,
I,
yes, please.
I have a question, Prabhuji. Sorry if the question is wrong.
No,
Prabhuji,
please.
like we all know, we everybody know that if we have a poverty of wealth, or if we don't have education or any fame or anything, we recognize it that we don't have it. But why not the jivas? They are unable to recognize that we have poverty in Krishna consciousness. Because until a devotee enters into our life, we don't know anything about Krishna consciousness. So why is that a jiva unable to recognize that it doesn't? It has poverty for Krishna consciousness?
Thank you, Mataji. Because it is very, very subtle. See, gross things are easy to recognize. Similarly, subtle things are difficult, and spiritual thing is, even it's not even a material thing; it's even spiritual. So it's hard to recognize. For example, how many people will agree that that there is lust in my heart, in their heart? If they don't eat the food in the belly, they'll feel hungry. If they don't get sleep, they'll feel sleepy. But no one will, except for a few rare souls, no one will accept, I get angry, or I am lusty, or I get bad thoughts. These are more subtle. So identifying gross things is easy because, oh, my income is X, my neighbor's income is 2X, so I'm poor. Or my car looks like this, neighbor's car looks very fancy. So it's very gross. That's number one point. I feel that gross things are easy to identify. But subtle things, we have to really work on them. Plus, the nature of this world. Why are we in this world? Because we wanted to forget Krishna. Krishna bhuli sei jiva nadir bahirmukh ate maya tare de sansar dukh. We came to this world to forget Krishna, so Maya facilitates that. Oh, you came here to remember Maya, to remember material energy? Okay. Until one is very, very sincere, one will feel everything is fine. Oh, a nice car, nice bungalow, nice family, everything is so nice. There is no need for Krishna consciousness because that's what the jiva wanted. And Krishna fulfills those desires because he's very, very Yetamam prapadyante tam satya bhajamyaham. You came here to forget Krishna, okay? To forget and remember Maya, okay? I'll support you because that's what you wanted. But great souls who are Brahmanda Brahmite Kona Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasad Paya Bhakti Lata Bija. By wandering in the cycle of material world, birth and death, suffering, ocean of nescience, one is fortunate. Either by past Sukruti or by causeless mercy or by some Krishna's Yadrichaya, divine arrangement, one gets that. Some people take advantage of it. Some people, no, I don't need to go to devotees. I don't need to go to temple. I'm fine. So it's a complex combination of all those things that we don't feel that there is a need for bhakti, or majority of the population don't feel because we feel we are enjoying until one is kind of, therefore Bhagavad Gita says that 4 kinds of people approach Krishna, and majority of them is those who are in trouble, which is the fact in Kali Yuga. Dukh mein simiran sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi, jo dukh mein simiran kare to sukh kare, jo sukh mein simiran kare to dukh kare ko. In the time of distress, everyone remembers Krishna or God or some higher thing. But at the time of when things are going fine, then one feels there is need to remember God. So, does it help?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to add or share any other thoughts to that question?
Yes, Prabhu, Dhanavad. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mata, please.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshmi Mataji, for such a nice, genuine question. And thank you, Shubhala's going, Prabhu. I just want to add that Krishna doesn't want to interfere with our free will. We came to this material world because we wanted to. We wanted to stay away from Krishna and we wanted to be enjoyers, right? So, and he doesn't interfere with the free will. It's like somebody sleeping but doesn't want to wake up. Sorry, somebody is awake but has eyes closed. Whatever you do, you won't be able to wake him up until he decides that he wants to wake up. He's not, so we take this that we don't want to go back to Godhead. So then Krishna doesn't interfere. He knows that we are just acting, that we are sleeping, but we are not. Does that add anything of value? Hare Krishna, thank you very much.
Yes, Mataji. But one follow-up question, Mataji. So even when a jiva is not willing to take Krishna consciousness, but when a devotee enters into our life, it is like magical. Only at that time, by the presence of a devotee, we immediately recognize that we have been lost for so many years. So how does that work, Mataji? The immediate change.
Yeah,
So,
actually in Bhagavad Gita verse 3.27 or so, Prabhupada says that Krishna doesn't have bhakti for himself. So he cannot give you bhakti. But a devotee has so much bhakti. It's like touching the touchstone there. You touch a touchstone and everything converts to gold or that Paris stone. And similarly, devotees, bhakti is contagious. Because they love Krishna so much, it's just contagious. But Krishna doesn't love himself. So he doesn't give every jiva bhakti for himself. He doesn't interfere. That's the renunciation aspect of him, the sixth opulence. If you don't want me, that's okay. Shilpa, please add. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you. So nice. Anyone else wants to share anything or add?
Prabhuji, just one more example we hear all the time about the iron filing. So when iron has rust on it, we feel that, so if we consider ourselves, we'll think that we are just rust, we have no magnetic properties. But when a devotee comes and files away the rust, our real property of being a magnetic metal, we can get attracted to the Lord. And another example I've heard is about the red hot iron. So if a devotee is like the furnace, we get the same property as the fire if when we are with the devotee and when we are associating with Krishna, we get that property when that metal is heated up. So just a few analogies. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very nice. Okay, so we will pause here and continue tomorrow with the next verses. Grantraj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam Purana ki jai, Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you.